So you want to start reading books in English, but you don't know where to start, where to find them, how to get them. Maybe you do not have access to books. When you try to look for them in bookshops, or maybe they're too expensive in your country, and if you would try to order them online, they are ridiculously expensive. I know I've been there. I know the struggle is real when you are an English learner and you're trying to start reading books in English. Maybe sometimes when somebody travels abroad, you ask them, "Can you please bring me a book in English?" I've been there. I've done that. And but nowadays with technology, things are so much easier, and I'm gonna give you on this video 3 amazing golden tips to start reading books in English. My name is Leticia. I'm a certified TEFL teacher and an English fluency coach, and I'm here today to help you, to guide you through this path of reading books in English. If you don't follow my channel yet, please subscribe. Click on the little button here on YouTube because this is I started recently recording these videos, but I'm always posting at least once a week. I try to. But if you want to get to know more tips on how to not only read books in English, but how to become more fluent, how to change your mindset to start to speak English more confidently, more fluently, and with purpose. Okay? 3 amazing tips for you to start reading books. I think the first golden tip that I'm going to address today here for you guys is where to find the books. I know I've heard many of my students complaining about it, and some of my colleagues or people who do not live in countries where English is their first language. When you live abroad, um, it sometimes it can be very hard to find books in English, and when you do find them, they are very expensive, and it becomes really unsustainable. If you like to read books, when you actually get the gist of it, when you start to enjoy reading books in English, it becomes unsustainable to buy books, even on your own mother tongue. Sometimes it can be a very expensive hobby. So where to find them? And of course, you're starting to read books in English now. You do not want to spend much money, or if possible, you do not want to spend any money at all. I understand you. I've been there too. So the first thing that I would suggest for you is to go to the openlibrary.org. This is one of the online archives that they gather books from all over the world in many languages. Of course, their biggest library is in English. And in this website, you can borrow books, you can download them depending on the rights reserved for that book. It's completely free, and you have access to all kinds of books, depending on even on your level of English. You can take a beginner's level, A1, A2, a little bit more intermediate, a little bit more challenging, like a B1, B2, and of course the classics, which I would consider even advanced. Another amazing idea for you, if you're willing to pay a small amount per month, is the Kindle Unlimited. I have here with me my own little Kindle that I absolutely love, and I carry with me everywhere I go. It's pocket size, so I can fit it inside my bag. If I'm in a waiting room, waiting for a doctor's appointment, I have my little companion here with me, so I can read some books and practice my English. Look at that. Amazing, the best of both worlds. So, Kindle Unlimited. You do not need to buy this device to have access to the Kindle Unlimited. You can subscribe to it. I'm not sure how much is it per month. I know in Brazil it's around 20 reais, which is less than $4 per month. And you have, so you sign up or you subscribe to Kindle Unlimited and you have access to thousands, millions of books from the Amazon website. Of course, some of them you might still need to pay a small amount, but still very, very accessible. And as I mentioned, you do not need to buy this device. You can open the book on your computer or even on your phone. Okay? Another amazing source, another place or app where you can find many books for free is your Apple Store. Here on my Apple device, I'm actually reading Frankenstein right now. Amazing. I have my Kindle, I have my iPhone, I have physical books. I don't know what to read. I'm reading everything at the same time. You see when the person is crazy about books, yeah? So this little app is called, it's a bookstore from the Apple. You sign up with your Apple ID and you have access to all kinds of books. Some of them you need to pay, but there's also a free library here that you can borrow books. Quite amazing, really. So anywhere you look for, you are able to find books for free. You know, if you're willing to go to a flea market, of course, there you might also find some books in English. So that is really not an excuse that I like to hear when I ask people, or my students usually, that those are the ones I usually ask. So what have you been reading? Would you be interested in reading anything in English? And they say, oh no, it's so hard to find books in English, or it's so expensive. Why should I spend so much money when I'm still learning the language? Wow. Now you see that you do not need, if you don't want to spend any money, you don't need. Okay? So, first tip, where to find these books. I'm even going to show you here right now. I'm going to open my own Amazon account and I'll show you how amazing it is and sometimes really cheap if you actually want to buy the book and not borrow from the Kindle Unlimited. It's really easy. Let me just show you. Okay, guys, so this is my Amazon account. So if you take a look, today actually I'm going to read with you later on in this video a very short part of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, which is a classic. I'm sure everyone who's watching have already heard about this book from Lewis Carroll. Yes, so just for you to see how affordable, how accessible the Kindle Unlimited is, and the amount of books that are available there. I'm sorry, my Amazon account is from Brazil, so it's all in Portuguese. I tried to change the language, but I got lost in a rabbit hole. And I decided to just forget about it. Let's go in with this version in Portuguese, but at least you will understand more or less what to do, how to go, where to go, and all of that. So I have the Kindle Unlimited subscription, and when you subscribe, you can take, if I'm not mistaken, 20 books at a time. So of course, I am the crazy person who reads on my phone, on the Apple account, on my Kindle, and I also have physical books to help me. So I'm sure I'm not going to be reading 20 books at a time. So every time I finish a book, I just give it back to Kindle Unlimited and frees up a space in my Kindle Unlimited subscription. But if I actually, and that is absolutely for free, every book that I borrow here is absolutely for free. You see, it's included in your membership, included in Kindle Unlimited. when you sign up for Kindle Unlimited, you always need to look for the books that have this sign here, Kindle Unlimited. However, if you actually want to buy the book to have it always available to you as a digital copy in your Kindle, in your computer, you can buy it. It's written here. Would you like to buy it for, God, guys, 199 reais? 199 reais, that's like 40 cents of dollar. That's super, super cheap, you see? So Kindle Unlimited, it's really reasonable. I'm going to add to my library here because we are going to check it afterwards. So now we move on to the second tip, golden tip, on how to start reading books in English. Yes. First, where to find the books. Second, which books should I choose? How do I know my level? How do I know I'm gonna start? This book is not gonna be too difficult for me, and then I'm gonna stop on the first page because I'm completely lost. That's something that happens, and I understand. Sometimes when I take a Shakespeare play to read, I feel completely lost. Because even though that's an English from the 18th century that has nothing to do with what we learn on our grammar books nowadays. We need to have this nuance, this, like this realization that not everything that's written on paper in English is suitable for us right now, So, I would recommend, even if you already have a advanced level, I don't know what level you fit yourself into, but I would recommend starting with books that you have already read before. If you like reading on your mother tongue, I'm sure there are at least a couple of books that you've read that were written originally in English, and you can find them easily, the original versions in English for you to reread. This technique of reading things that you have already read in your own mother tongue will completely put yourself at ease because you already have an idea of the context, what is happening, what are the characters feeling, and how that translates into English. So it will give you a different perspective to the story that you have already read. Another amazing technique to choose books to read in English is to find versions of classics rewritten for children or young adults. I'm going to give you an example here, coming back to the Kindle Unlimited on the Amazon website, and you understand better what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're back to the Amazon website, and I Googled here on top. I looked classics for children. And here we have, of course, we will have classic literature for children, Goldilocks. But something very important. On the filter here, I put Kindle Unlimited. If you don't want to pay extra for the books you're looking for, just put here ebooks included in the Kindle Unlimited, and you have all of them free of charge. Of course, not completely free because you're paying the subscription, but come on, it's pennies. So let's enjoy it. Let's take our 20 books at a time and focus on the reading activity, the reading goal. Okay? So, coming back, classics. In English, we have here The Hound of Baskervilles, which is a Sherlock Holmes novel. If there are any bookworms here watching this video, you will know. The Hound of the Baskervilles. This is an edition for young adults, so the language is simplified for young younger readers. So this is an amazing opportunity for you to read a classic with a much more accessible language. Here we have, I don't know, a fantasy book. Look at that. Peter and Wendy, Amazon Classics again, Peter Pan, Cinderella. Who doesn't love Cinderella? I'm sorry. This is amazing. Nutcracker. Peter Rabbit. I don't know who that is, but like Alice here. We have again Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Jane Austen. Children's story, easy classics. If you are a Jane Austen fan, there you go. Look at that. There's Sense and Sensibility, Persuasion. My God. Seriously, like the amount of materials you have to work with. So much to learn in these books. So, you see, and all of this, you already have an idea what the story is. You just, need to put yourself out there and continue on the third golden tip to reading books in English that I'm going to tell you right now. So, by now, you've already learned where to look for books, how to choose them, and now we are going to the third golden rule of reading books, which is to have a conversation with your book. To be more accurate, it's not really a conversation, it is an interrogation. Let's be honest, an interrogation. We're going to use all those. If you have been studying English for a while, you will know this, the 5 W's and the H plus. What are the 5 W's? Why, what, when, where, who, and the H, how. The plus, adjectives. How old, how long, how many, how much, how sad, how happy was the character. Was he really happy or not so much? Interrogation. We need to interrogate the story. We need to know all the facts. We need to understand the vocabulary that is there, maybe the expressions. And to do all that without running to a dictionary every time, or, like you're reading the book and then you see a word. If you're on your Kindle, you have this possibility of highlighting that word and going to a dictionary right on spot. But if you're reading a book on your computer or on your phone, you take the dictionary app. You want to take the dictionary, to open the dictionary app, but you end up where? Where do you end up? Instagram. And that's a rabbit hole that you're never gonna leave. After 1 hour there, you realize, oh my God, I wanted to check that word. And I forgot. And you lost track. You lost the thread of the story. So, like try, like everything you can not to run to a dictionary every time you come across a word that you do not know. Try to understand that by context, asking those questions, interrogating the text. Okay? Those are very nice words to use at any activity, not only reading. If you're listening to a song and the lyric says something very strange or that you never heard before, go back or go forward. Listen to the whole song and start asking questions. Where is it happening? When? Or why is the person feeling like that? What happened? What is he expecting? What is he feeling? These are golden questions to understand and contextualize any situation. Not only when you listen to a song, when you read a book, when you watch a movie, but in real life. Okay? So we're going to do this exercise now together. As I mentioned before, I took a very small part of the book Alice in Wonderland, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and we're going to read it together. Okay? So let's take a look. Okay, so now we are going to take a look at this beautiful piece by Lewis Carroll. And on this scene that we are reading, Alice is wandering through the forest and she finds the Cheshire Cat. Let's read the whole thing and then we come back, okay? One day, Alice came to a fork in the road and saw a Cheshire Cat in a tree. "Which road do I take?" she asked. "Where do you want to go?" was his response. "I don't know," Alice answered. "Then," said the cat, "it doesn't matter." Okay, big question here. Where would you start? What is the red flag there? What is something that you want to know about? More information, yeah? What on earth is a fork on the road? What is a fork on the road? Because for me, when I read it, fork, this is a fork. Yeah, we use it to eat. We use it to grab food, to, like fork things to eat. But what on earth is a fork in the road? Well, if we really think about the layout of a fork, we can see that one big path is dividing into 4 little ones. So when you take a road and you actually, one big road continuing and dividing in tiny little roads. So her pathways are opening up. She has more choices where to go. And I know that because how is Alice feeling? It seems that she's confused. She doesn't know where to go. And she actually asked, "Which road do I take?" Which shows limited choices. So she was following one road and suddenly that road split like a fork, and now she has many options to choose from. But her doubt continues, and that has nothing to do with the fork. Why is that? The cat asks her, "Where do you want to go?" And she doesn't know because she's completely lost in the wonderland. Yeah. What she really wanted was to go home, but apparently at that point she's completely lost and she's like, "Okay, whatever, I'm here wherever it takes me, I'm going with the flow. Just point me where to go and I'll go because I have no idea." And so the kitty cat, that beautiful cat with a beautiful smile, if you know what I mean, answered, "Then it doesn't matter which road you take. Just take whatever." So you see, many questions we got from the little fork in the road. And that's how you discover new vocabulary, asking questions, reading the answers that follows. Many times I tell my students, when you start reading books in English or texts, when you listen to a podcast, listen to music, before you start asking questions, give it a chance to explain itself. Yes? So in this part, let's read the whole chapter, or let's read one whole page. Let's go page by page, because sometimes the answer follows. Yes, and the context starts to develop in front of our eyes, and we find all the answers that we're looking for right there. Of course, not all of them. Sometimes there will be some terms, some idioms, some words that are an enigma. Yes. And as a last resource, go to a dictionary. But make your brain work. And the more you do that, the easier it gets. And the faster you will start to read. And then you start to feel proud of yourself. And then when you see you are buying 10 books or you are downloading 10 books to read, and you have a pile of to be read books, and you become a bookworm, and your life revolves around that. And that's fine. Everybody does what they like. If you enjoy reading, welcome to the club. I am a bookworm myself, so I cannot judge anybody. Okay? Um some of you might have seen this little kitty here that I have with me. And that little kitty, I got him from, let me look here. Oh, I don't know where's the book, but this is an amazing published house from Italy called Black Cat. And they have also a huge amount of books adapted to all kinds of levels. So if you feel like splurging, if you feel like spending a little bit more, if you like the physical books, they also have digital books. And they adapt English literature, books in English, to A1, A2, B1 levels, especially for English learners. So that's also another amazing source of books in English. Black Cat, a publishing house from Italy. Um, Again, as a disclosure here, I am not being paid by Kindle Unlimited or by the Amazon. I am not being paid by Black Cat. It's just I saw their work now at the conference that I've been to, and I really loved their books. So just mentioning here, I'm not being paid. I just really loved their materials. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, if you have any suggestions, if you want me to do a whole video just reading a whole chapter and interrogating that whole book with you guys, just let me know. It would be so much fun. We can even maybe do it live. I would love to do something like this. So if you want, just comment here on this video. Share it with a friend who's a bookworm and wants to start reading books in English. I would be happy to spread the word on how to develop this skill, because I think it's so amazing when you start to, you know, exercise, when you start to understand, when you start to develop your English speaking, reading, listening, writing skills, and you feel proud of yourself. So, don't give up. I know sometimes it will be hard, but it's also so rewarding. So don't give up. And I'm gonna continue posting videos here to help you on this journey. So subscribe to get the alerts. And that's it. See you on the next video. Bye bye.